Alright, welcome folks to another Electronic Revolution television broadcast here. Tonight we have CEVO Professional Round 1 playoffs between 20ID and Team Pandemic. And just like last night, it will be played out here on MP Dawnville. And we do have everybody in the server, just waiting for everyone to get readied up here. This is e-rev Snakeboots. Alongside me tonight will be my friend Total. And doing video is Chad. So, looks to be an exciting matchup here. 20ID versus Pandemic. How's it going, Total?
Pretty good. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm very excited to see both these teams here go head-to-head on MP Dawnville. Great map for two good teams to show their stuff.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite maps here in terms of showing a team's true colors. Give you guys a roster rundown here. Playing for 20ID, it seems they're going to be on the American side first half. We have Sire Frosty Viper, which is Rez, Havix, Razor, and Brett. And for Pandemic, we have Nabor, Robwiz, Miller, Curious G, and Prank. So two players playing under different aliases tonight, but pretty easily noticeable here. So again, still waiting on two players from 20ID to ready up, and we will begin action here on MP Dawnville. This is CEVO Professional Round 1 playoffs. Call of Duty 2 only on e-rev TV. And folks, join us on IRC on the Game Surge Network. That's pound e-rev. And you can find myself, Snakeboots, or Total, and give us your shout-outs here for the match, and also support CEVO and pound CEVO on the Game Surge Network as well. As everybody is readied up here, 20ID versus Pandemic. 20ID on the American side, Pandemic on the German side, and round 1 starting here momentarily. Total, take it away.
Alright, here we go. 20ID on Allies. It is their time to shine. Let's see. And we are live. Right off the bat, they send 3 players Graveyard, and trying to catch up to it, it's Frosty down the center and Sniper back at Allied side. So no smoke, nothing yet. It's just kind of quiet on the map as 3 players do make their way through Graveyard. Let's see who it is. Blazer hanging back, and Brett is already up in Church. So Brett is taking over Church, and still quiet again on the map. Already a minute and 30 in, and nothing's happened yet. So both these teams playing a very smart game, I guess, feeling each other out this first round here. Still no action. I'm just kind of stuck on Brett here as he's right up in front in the Church. All right, there you go. He's making his way towards I was going to go outside there, but no, he hangs back in Church. Let's see, Frosty there. He's on the street at Truck. Doesn't see anybody. Still no action. A minute has passed, and not one kill. So, all right, things are getting closer. There you go. A couple shots being fired. Still nothing has happened yet. Blazer, he's made his way in the orphanage. There you go. Brett into Miller with a nice headshot. So, all right, Pandemic Miller is the first one to fall in this match. It's a 4v5 as the bomb is being planted at A. Still 4 players left on Pandemic and 5 for 20ID. Bomb is planted at A. All right, 20ID is an orphanage, and they are all over the place. So. Wow, just everybody is still hanging in there. You go, Viper into the board with a headshot. So 2 Pandemic down. Excuse me, Miller goes down for Pandemic. So it's a 3v5 in favor of 20ID. Bomb planted. There you go, Havix into Robwiz. 3 Pandemic down. 4 Pandemic down as Havix also takes out Savior. And Blazer comes in with the final kill on Prank. 5 20ID alive as 5 Pandemic go down. Team ace for 20ID. Excellent round. It was slow, but wow, they did it huge.
Yeah, well played round there from 20ID, coming out with a timed A rush there. And one thing I will be surprised about is Pandemic completely left the A bomb site open. So they were defending the B bomb site, probably trying to do the infamous trap into the Graveyard, as we have seen them do. Nabor's team back when he played for Shockwave defended Dawnville no better than I've ever seen it done. But there they go. They give it up the A bomb site, and 20ID coming out with a nice Excellent timed A rush, planting the smoke there and getting into the bomb site and making their pick. So first round there from 20ID. And here, 30 seconds into round 2, and absolutely no action, no nades, no smoke. Everybody just holding up at their spots. And again, Pandemic is going to hold back, defend the B bomb site, leave A completely open. And the board's going to get things started here with an MP44 into 20ID Brett. So minute 15 in the round, and still 5-on-4 advantage here for the Pandemic side. We have a player pushing up the main road. That's going to be Sire Frosty. He spots a player all the way back at the B bomb site. That's going to be Prank back behind the B bomb site. Miller holding out at the Panzer box area. As Savior spots a player in the White House. That's an easy kill with the MP44 right there into Viper. So it's now a 5-on-3 advantage here for the Pandemic team. 50 seconds left into the round, and Pandemic is starting to make their rotation back around towards the A bomb site as Rob Wiz puts a 12 gauge into Sire Frosty, but Havoc has an answer back there with the MP44. So 2 players left for 20ID. That's going to be Blazer and Havoc's. Havoc's holding up inside the church right now with the MP44. Going to be peeking out down towards the Hobo Town and the White House as Blazer is making his way up on top of the A-bomb, puts down a fake plant. Here we got 25 seconds left, and the board pushing up into the church, gets a headshot there into Havoc's, and Blazer here, 3-on-1 disadvantage for him as he spots 2 players right outside the Panzer pocket area, but Savior coming through with the MP44 right from behind the wall, holding up his position pretty strong. So Pandemic has a quick answer back here for 20ID, and do it in pretty good defending fashion, as they tie things up at 1-aside here in the first half on MP Dawnville. Great round there from Pandemic total.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a different game with these skill level here. They really take their time, and just awesome. The action doesn't all happen until right there at the end, but when it does, it's pretty wicked. So, all right. So once again, 20ID sending 3 in the graveyard, and Frosty hangs in the middle street, and they also put the sniper back in the sniper house. So, all right, there we go. It looks like. Let me catch up to. We got a scout member, Blazer, hanging outside of Orphanage. Gonna make his way in there, it looks like. And he just peeks around, so still no action yet. A few nades are being thrown, and Havoc's and Blazer just kind of hanging out, talking in the back graveyard there. Alright. Something's got to happen here soon, folks. Alright, there you go. Havoc's makes his way with the shotgun into Orphanage. Finds nobody. Nobody to stop him from going in. Smoke is up out in front of A there. All right, they spot the players. Pandemic does see players inside of Orf, so it takes a few shots, but nothing happens. Everybody just playing real smart here once again. All right, there you go. Prank into Brett with the scope. So there you go. 20ID falls down 2. Scratch that. 2 members. Blazer is also down. I believe that's Curious George. Havoc's walks right through the smoke and finds Miller and Nabor. So Havoc's with the 2 kills there, taking out Miller and Nabor. Havoc's on top of the bomb, putting the plant down at A. All right, plant is down. Plant's down, and it's a 3v1 in favor of 20ID, as the only one left is Curious George for Pandemic. He's got a big road ahead of him as the bomb is planted, and 3 20ID left. So they know where he's at, and they're just firing away at him, and he's making his way towards the A bomb site back at Panzer House. So. Right, he escaped to back of Panzer House. There he is in the ruins. Frosty knew where he was, and Frosty Curious George knew where he was, and went ahead and made that final kill on Saber. So another round for 20ID on Allied side. It's a hard task, but there you go. 2-1 in favor of 20ID.
Yeah, again, I gotta say, man, Pandemic just giving up the A bomb site here for 20ID to push through. And they got that, once they get that smoke out, it blinds everybody back there behind the B bomb site. And Prank right off the start here gets a nice jumping headshot into Viper with the Car 98K sniper. So excellent job there from Prank. So that's definitely going to play a factor here early on in this round as Miller's heading up on top of that short wall. Has an MP44, is going to peek out and retreat back to the bomb. Savior pushing up in the Hobo Town for Pandemic. Chucks a nade out there, watching out with his MP44. Prank holding out from Hobo Town as well with the sniper rifle, watching the entrance of Church. Nabor up in top Panzer House with the Car 98K, kind of watching down through the main road. So get a little look in here on 20 ideas. We have two players out in front of the orphanage in the graveyard side as Prank lands a nice sniper rifle into Brett. So that's his second kill of the round, and Havoc's pushing up there in through the middle of the orphanage area. Going to land a 12 gauge into Rob Wiz. So there goes. Smoke is going to get deployed at the A bomb site. Looks like another 20 ID push into the A bomb site. Miller holding out from back of the red brick area. Chucks his nade into the orphanage. Hits a player there. He's going to watch out there as he still has some visibility through the smoke. And rotate back around here. 20 ID Blazers right there in front of the orphanage, going to hold out, firing through that smoke towards the Panzerbach with the M1 Garand into board, peeks up through the window in top hoove, as Ian would call it, and lands a nice car 98K into Blazer. So we have one player left for 20 ID. That's going to be Sire Frosty, and he's all the way over there in the Hobo Town. Spots a player at the back Panzer area and puts another bullet right there into the upper half of his body, but he's not going to drop him. He has a full automatic, and he runs through and pushes with his Thompson, dropping Savior, but Miller coming from behind, catches a headshot into the back of his brain, and Pandemic is going to come back here with another answer as these teams start to trade rounds back and forth. We are tied at 2 aside here total. Great action.
Yeah, well, I was actually looking at the scores as you were talking, and Miller was sitting at 0, but he came through huge on that round and got 2 kills to tie it up there. So it's 2-2. And don't forget, ID is on 20 ID is on Allies. They go ahead and send 3 guys graveside again. So running that same strat. Nades are flying all over the place, but nothing connects. Oh, excuse me. Miller does find Frosty, and Miller also with a 44 into 20 ID Brett. So Miller coming right back from that 0 score to make it 4. Awesome. There you go. Rob Wiz into Havoc. So I missed a kill there. It was Viper into Rob Wiz, so in that exchange, Rob Wiz does fall down. But let's see, it's 1 minute and 20 left, and Viper, Blazer left on 20 ID, and 4 guys for Pandemic. So Pandemic in good position here as they are dug in. We got 20 ID Blazer. He's in Orphanage. He's got some sort of long-range weapon. He's got a Grand, so Blazer is hung up in, in Orphanage. There's no smoke yet. All right, here we go. 1 minute has passed. And it's Viper and Blazer versus, as soon as I say it, Prank falls to Blazer's Grand. But Nabor is there with a Car 98 into Blazer, so, and I believe that's Curious George. So, wow, Viper is left versus 3 Pandemic. Pandemic, Nabor, Miller, and Curious George all versus Viper. So Viper, big job ahead of him this round as he's got 34 seconds left to take out 3 Pandemic players and plant a bomb, either or. All right, there you go. He's coming in the B side, so all by himself. He does have a scope, so let's see what he can do. Player right in front of him as they're fighting. Oh, he almost got that first shot on Miller, but Miller slides back around the bomb side and takes him out. So there you go. Pandemic going up 1. Score is 3-2 in favor of Pandemic as they are on German side.
Yes, actually that was, Miller was over there at the red brick area. It was Savior on top of the bomb site, so Miller going in and stealing a kill there, helping his teammate out from the red brick area with an M1 Garand. Yeah, pretty good action there. Miller picking up 3 kills that round, doing pretty big there, so good job for him. Is 20 ID sending 3 players into the graveside, into Bohr shooting through the church area, gets a nice kill there into Brett, and Curious George landing a nice potato smasher right there at the feet of Blazer as Havoc's pushing up into the orphanage area, lands a nice 12 gauge into Rob Wiz, and he chucks a nade right on top of the bomb, but lands right over the top of 2 Pandemic players, so just barely missing them as we are in a 4-on-2 situation here for Pandemic, as he definitely has the advantage, or 4-on-3, excuse me, has the advantage. Savior holding out in the Hobo area with the MP44, watching both Cafe, Hole in the Wall, and White House. Prank holding up from Hobo Town, spots a player moving up into that church area. That's going to be probably Brett over there. That's actually Sire Frosty. So Sire Frosty with the M1 Garand, I believe he spotted that player, and Havoc's picks up a second kill of the round. That's a headshot into Nabor with the M1 Garand. So he has an M1 Garand and shotgun combination. Smoke was deployed at the A bomb site seconds ago. There it is. Miller popping out from on top of the A bomb site, catches Havoc's with the MP44, and seconds after that, Viper lands a nice, beautiful headshot there into Prank. So we have a 2-on-2 battle here between Sire Frosty and Viper, but Savior's right there in the Hobo Town catching a headshot with the MP44, gunning down Viper. So one player left standing here, 420 ID. That's going to be Sire Frosty. He's on top of the bomb site, and Miller peeking out from behind the Panzer box is going to spot him and mow him down with the nice headshot there from his MP44. So uncontested here, Miller just putting on a hot streak, as you said, going 0 kills in the first couple rounds, has 7 and on top of Pandemic's leaderboard right now. So Pandemic grabbing a 4-2 lead here over 20 ID on MP Dawnville. Great job there.
All right, so back to 3 Graveyard, and they're keeping with that strategy that seems to be working for 20 ID. They're just not getting all the lucky shots, and they are facing Pandemic's legendary Dawnville defense that I've heard so much about. So, all right, so minute 40 left, and nothing's happening. All right, I'm trying to catch up with some allied players here. It's Blazer getting ready to set a nade, it looks like. A missed nade by Blazer. He drops it on himself, but he avoids that missed nade. All right, still everybody is up. It's a 5v5 situation as we go into a minute and 15 seconds left. All right, Blazer scout member into Orphanage, and he is... oh, there you go. Brett is... Brett finds the boar across the map with a beautiful, beautiful headshot from a Grand. So the boar is down. It's 4v5 as ID does control Muddy and Orphanage. So Alright, I missed it, but Brett and the Savior and Rob Wiz with a double kill. One was a nade and the other was a pistol. So there you go. 3 Pandemic down as I was talking. 4 go down, and last one was Miller, found by Blazer, and Viper drops a nade right into Rob Wiz to end the round. There you go. It's 4-3.
Yeah, that's another good round there from 20 ID. And again, Pandemic leaving the Orphanage open. It looks like they're going to change up their strategy this time. They are covering up over on that A bomb site, actually sending a player into Orphanage right now. And Miller, right off the bat there, is going to peek up and catch a headshot into a 20 ID player. That's going to be Brett as he's coming out of the snake hole into the graveyard. And 20 ID does have 2 players over there in the graveyard right now. And Sire Frosty holding back at Banana Wall with the M1 Garen. Kind of firing out there. Don't think he really sees anybody. Nabor gets dropped there with a nice pineapple nade from Blazer right at the foot of Muddy Water. So it's a 4-on-4 even advantage for both teams. Rob Wiz has smoked out the Orphanage area as he's looking up for any nades that might fall through. He's watching there with the 12 gauge. The smoke does get deployed there from the 20 ID team on top of the A bomb site as it has for the last couple rounds. Miller holding out at the red brick area. Savior, that's Curious G, was holding out in Hobo Town, but falls victim to a pineapple nade from Viper. So it's a 4-on-3 advantage here for the Allied team as Rob Wiz is still holding out from Orphanage area. Thinks he hears someone climbing up on top of that church wall. Is going to hide back in the corner now. So 50 seconds left in the round. Miller still holding out from the red brick area. Is going to spot a player over there in the Hobo Town entrance. See if I can spot through. Prank is on top of the B bomb site as well. He spots a player coming out of the tank hole, or through the wooden hole entrance, excuse me. And there it is. He's gonna fire at him but not drop him, and Blazer coming through with an M1 Garen right into Miller. So 3-on-2 action here. 3 allies, 2 Axis players left. That's gonna be Rob Wiz and Prank. The bomb site is going down. Viper didn't see Prank behind the B bomb site. Kind of poor communications as Prank was firing at another player. So it's 2-on-2 action here. 15 seconds left in the round. Blazer is on top of the A bomb site. See if I can spot him. There it is. Prank peeking around the corner, picks off Blazer with a nice headshot from his sniper rifle, and Prank's gonna be running away from him as it's now a 1-on-1 situation. I must have missed Sire Frosty head drop Roz Wiz, and right here at the last few seconds, Sire Frosty picking up, emptying his clip into Prank with nearly a second left in the round, and he's going to pick up probably an important round here for 20 ID. Wow, I couldn't believe that one as Prank was running away from him, decided to stop at the last second even though he was bleeding. And 20 ID picking up an important round here. Pandemic probably not too happy about that one.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I think we were discussing a little last night how things have changed over the last 2 years as far as which side is actually easier. It used to be very, very hard for allies, but now things are changed a little bit. All right, there you go, right off the bat, Miller into Brett. So there you go, 20 ID is down a man, a minute 30 left. They do control Orphanage and Church, so there you go. Just trying to find a good there. Blazer, he's outside of Orf, making his way. All right, so Blazer scouts into Orphanage this time with his Grand, and he's been doing pretty good in there with it. All right, things have just quieted down a little bit on the map here as we go into 1 minute and 10 seconds left. 4 allies left, 5 Axis. All right, so Blazer is spotted in Orphanage as he exchanges fire. Savior throws up a nade and finds Viper. So two 20 ID are down, but in the exchange, Pandemic Prank falls. But as Prank was falling, he threw a nade up, and he found Viper, I believe it was. So Prank, the only one down for Pandemic, is Havocs. Havocs was the last one standing. As I was talking, he does fall to Nabor. So there you go. Pandemic goes up one more round. It's 5-4 in favor of Pandemic. Great action there in the last 45 seconds.
Yeah, kind of a lot of kills there happening right away for Pandemic. Put themselves in a 4-on-2 situation, and as you said, Pandemic grabbing the lead here 5-4. And it's one thing I have noticed, as you stated, does become easier here for the Allies over the years, and Nabor right away picking up a headshot into Brett as he comes out through the snake hole. I believe that's like the 3rd time I've seen Pandemic pull that kill off this map. As we have a player, 2 players, 420 ID up in the muddy water. That's going to be Sire Frosty and Havocs. And we do have a Pandemic player just rotated back around from Red Brick area. That's going to be Miller. He's holding out at the bottom of the Red Brick area. And we have a player jumping up, making that jump up into the top of the Panzer House. That's Havocs. And we'll see how that does for him as Nabor is sitting in the bottom. And there it is. Havocs coming down, firing viciously. And Sire Frosty planning the attack there, rushing out with his Thompson, drops Nabor, and Prank seconds later with his Car 98K sniper, gonna get one right there into Blazer. So Rob Wiz spotting that player on top of the bomb site as Savior lands a nice potato smasher into Sire Frosty, and Havocs holding out in the Panzerbach area, gets a 12 gauge into the midsection of Rob Wiz. So we have a 2-on-2 action here, 55 seconds left in the round. Miller and Prank against Havocs and Viper. Prank is holding out behind the B bomb site. Miller right there at the Panzerbox area with the MP44, and Prank spotting Havocs right there at the Iron Gates is going to drop him with the Car 98K sniper, and he spots Viper right over here at the Hobo Town. So we'll see if Miller can rotate back around and find him. And Viper kind of at a disadvantage here. 2-on-1, 31 seconds left in the round. He is going to spot Miller right there with a beautiful headshot. Peeking out, just barely spots him at the top of his helmet. And we got a sniper battle going down right here at the B bomb site. 20 seconds left in the round. Viper against Prank. Prank just kind of holding back there, not showing himself behind the bomb site. And Viper going to rush out here. So there they are, going back and forth. And Prank picks up a headshot, or I mean a shot there with his sniper rifle. And he's going to charge him with the Luger. And he picks up a lucky headshot there coming around the B bomb site. So great action between the 2 snipers right there at the B bomb site, and Pandemic is going to regain their 2-round lead here, 6-4 over 20 ID. Wow.
There you go. Yeah, NYPD style at the end there for Prank. I don't know about luck, but it looks pretty good to me. All right, here's a switch. It looks like we are going to see our first B-rush.
All out grenade attack, Jesus.
Yeah. All right, so a bunch of players for 20 ID are going B-side. Maybe they changed their mind. Yeah, they do. They went that way, and then they cut right back. Sire Frosty kills a teammate. His teammate Brett falls to Mr. Frosty on a missed nade there, so a little unfortunate nade for poor Brett there, and I think it's Brett's birthday also. So here we go. Sire Frosty makes his way into muddy water, and he finds Miller dancing around behind the A bomb site. Takes him out pretty easy, as I don't think he knew he was there. So Miller is down, who had become a very important player at this point. Oh, Nabor out of back of Panzer. Finds Havocs, but Sire Frosty knew where he was, ran in and got him. But Rob Wiz saw Sire Frosty and catches him. So, wow, there you go. As I spoke, another 20 ID went down. It's 2v1. Viper left for 20 ID, and Prank and Rob Wiz still alive for Pandemic. So 2v1 situation as we watch Viper with the scope making his way solo versus 2 Pandemic. It's Prank and Rob Wiz. And Viper's got the scope. He's going to bottom arches. He's going to go ahead and shift over to B. I'm pretty sure he's aware that Prank is over there, since Prank has been there every single round. All right, so here we go. It's a sniper fight again. Rob Wiz with the Car 98 from back of Panzer, or back of Hove, finds him and ends the round. So there you go. A nice comeback stretch there for Pandemic, 7-4. Wow, good job, Pandemic.
Yeah, it's a great job on the German side here, and definitely look for them to try and pick up this round as well. 4 rounds on the Allied side. I consider it a great American half. 420 ID, and likely 20 ID probably looking to pick up this round as well, as they send 2 players up into the graveyard, 2 down the main road, and 1 holding back as Miller picks up another beautiful MP44 kill there into Brett, and Rob Wiz coming through with the Car 98K from the orphanage area, dropping Havoc. So early 5-on-3 advantage here for Pandemic. Last 3 players left for 20 ID are going to be Blazer, Viper, and Sire Frosty. Blazer and Sire Frosty are holding out in the graveyard, excuse me. They both have Garands in hand, and Viper holding out right outside of the cafe has a Springfield in hand, and he's kind of peeking out down towards the wall and now up into top school. So we'll see how it unfolds here, how they're gonna play this one out, as they got 5 Pandemic players ahead of them, and minute 12 left in the round. Again, Sire Frosty just kind of dancing around out there, deciding what he's gonna do, and he's gonna head back up into Bank and rotate back around to give Viper some help. See if I can push through and see where Viper is. There is some action going down over there in the Hobotown area, as Savior did spot Viper coming out of White House. And he's just kind of hold around, and Savior right there with the 12 gauge. Easy kill there into the entrance of the White House, and Rob Wiz lands a nice Car 98K into Blazer on top of the A bomb site, and eventually right there's Curious G with the shotgun, ending the round, ending the half, as Team Pandemic picks up a team ace over 20 ID, 8-4 at halftime. Great half.
There you go. I think we were speaking a little too soon, as Pandemic really turned on the heat there. Snake, I think they saw.
Yeah.
I think they something happened there on Ventrilo there about halfway through, and they really turned on the heat and got in position and did what they had to do. Get those all important German rounds on Dawnville. Everybody's readied up. You gonna take this first one here, Snake?
So, yeah, before I do that, I'll give you guys a score rundown here. For Pandemic now on the American side. Miller on top, 11-7, so he hit a hot streak and then kind of got cold there at the end. Rob Wiz 10-9, Nabor and Prank both 9-7, and Curious G 8-7, so all Pandemic players are positive. And 420 ID, Sire Frosty 9-9, Havoc's 9-10, Viper 8-9, Blazer 6-10, and Brett, the birthday boy, holding up the bottom pretty strong there, 4-10. So again, here we go. Second half action beginning. Pandemic on the Allied side, as I said, 30 seconds into the round, and everything is pretty much quiet, as I believe we have a missed smoke. Smoke is filling out right there at the Muddy Water entrance into the A bomb site. So again, a lot of things are pretty quiet. We have 2 Pandemic players holding out, 3 Pandemic players holding out on the main road. Rob Wiz, Savior, and Prank, as he's just now entering up inside of the cafe areas. Nabor lands the first frag of the round. That's going to be a pineapple nade into Havoc's, and he lands another one there with the M1 Garen into Sire Frosty, and Savior using the infamous bar is going to land a kill there into Blazer. So Pandemic making a full-out timed B-rush is going to come through, as right there Rob Wiz comes back around the Panzer box area, spots 2 players, drops one into Brett. Viper's going to get him from close range with the sniper rifle, but right there to help him out is Nabor with the M1 Garen. So Nabor picking up 3 kills here on the first half on the Allied side, and Pandemic is going to jump ahead 9-4, and what a terrific planned B attack that was from Pandemic, Total.
Yeah, that was really awesome. They did it just perfectly, and I think we all know that these guys are pro, and that's why they are in CEVO-P and some of the 2 top teams here. All right, so wow, very interesting. I'm catching up to Brett, who's made his way halfway up the street on the Axis side, which is an interesting plot here, as he waits quietly for some Pandemic to come his way. Nothing happening yet. All right, Rob Wiz with the big shotty right outside of White House, just hanging tight as the Axis smoke clears. I missed it, but Savior is down. I didn't catch that one. I apologize. So 1 Pandemic Savior, I believe that's Curious G, is down. So all of 20 ID is still alive. There you go. It's Brett I knew it, man. He was in position. There you go. Brett takes out Prank and Rob Wiz from that middle cubby there next to Church. What a sneaky little plan that was. I do not think anybody was expecting that. So 3 Pandemic down, and make that 4 as Nabor falls also to Brett. So huge round for Brett. He's already clocked in with 3 kills from that middle area, and it's Miller versus 5. And make that make that 0 as Havocs finds Miller and ends the round. So, man, back-to-back team aces, trading team aces. So 20ID is not shaken apparently from that team ace from Pandemic first Allied round.
Definitely not, and as you said there, Brett coming out pretty clutch, sneaking his way up the main road, hiding in that little cubby between the bank and the church, and waiting for the smoke to settle. Spotted a player behind the wooden shed, and gets a double kill there, and finally ends it with a 3rd one. So excellent job there from Brett. 420 ID, and it looks like Pandemic is completely rushing in through the orphanage area. It's probably going to be a time day rush, as they are 3 players rushing out there. There goes the smoke. They're on top of the bomb. The plant is being made here. 30 seconds into the round. They are all over it. Sire Frosty coming through with the big bolt action shot there into Rob Wiz, and Viper stopping the plant there as he puts a nice sniper into Nabor, and a lot of action going down here. Crossfire all over on top of the B bomb site. It's a 5-on-2 advantage here for the Exodus team. 5-on-1 here as Savior dropping Havocs and Brett mowing down Prank. So that last player is going to be Savior. He is an M1 Garen, and he's the only one not near the bomb site here for Pandemic. So he's got the M1 Garen in hand, and he's rotating back around the main road now. He's going to make his way into the White House, checking all his angles, and is going to pick up a MP44, or probably not, to not make any noise. He's going to scope out the area. There he goes. He goes back to make the pickup. Only 7 bullets left in the gun. Not if you saw. There he is. He spots a player in the top of the sniper house, or in the Panzerbot's house, but that's going to be Sire Frosty. Spotted him through the White House window, puts him down with the nice bolt Car 98K shot. And 20ID having another strong answer there. I thought Pandemic had pretty much all the room in the world to get into the bomb site, but excellent job there from 20ID defending that rush, and they tie things. They're down by 3 rounds, 9-6 here. Pandemic still in the lead total.
All right, a little change up here from Pandemic as they send 4 through Graveyard and just leave the sniper back at Allied Sniper. So a little bit of a change of plans here. Let's see. Wow, they're just bunched up. Pandemic is quite friendly with each other as they really are close to each other as they make their way back through Graveyard. All right, there you go, throwing up some nades, checking their sights there as Rob Wiz scouts into Orphanage, fires away, doesn't find anybody, backs off. All right, there you go, Nabor throws up a pineapple and finds Havocs. Didn't catch where Havocs was, but Havocs is down from a pineapple nade thrown by Nabor. Nabor doing it really big for Pandemic, 13-9. I saw that. It was Curious G and the Blazer. Wow. So but he falls in the exchange. 3 20 ID. Make that 4 20 ID down, leaving Brett alive. Bomb is planted. So Brett's got to take out 4 Pandemic players and defuse a bomb. I don't know. Let's see what he's doing. As soon as I speak, Rob Wiz does find him. Takes him out with a very, very nice headshot right in the church there. So round goes to Pandemic, 10-6 as round 17 is ready to start, Snake.
Yeah, that was textbook rotation there from Pandemic, tricking 20ID into the A bomb site, and 4 players rotating back around from Graveyard into the B bomb site, and Nabor getting in there pretty quickly and putting the bomb down, had 20ID in shambles. But again, Pandemic switching things up, have a lot of different things thrown at them on the offensive side. They send 4 players up into the Graveyard, 1 player holding back on top of the hotel area. That's going to be Prank sniping it there down through the main road. Not a lot of action going down. Havocs has thrown the smoke inside of the orphanage area, so that may halter anything Pandemic tries to do, as it looks like they are rotating back around out of the orphanage area. 1:20 left in the round here. 2 20 ID players on top of the A bomb site. That's going to be Havocs and Brett, and we have a player right there making his way up into the short wall. It's going to be Viper, and he spots Miller right there inside of the church with a nice Car 98K sniper shot. So early 5-4 advantage here for the 20 ID team. A minute left in the round as the smoke is starting to settle inside the orphanage. Havocs is laying prone on the opposite side of the wall, and also Nabor holding out in orphanage is laying prone as well. So both players are just kind of being patient here, waiting it out. Havocs looks to be a little impatient as he's starting to make movements. And there it is. The smoke is being deployed right there out in front of the A bomb site. As they do get into position, nades are being thrown on top of the bomb. And Nabor, actually Rob Wiz making his way there as he's coming out through the orphanage area. Havocs on the other side of the wall from him. And there it is. Havocs puts him down with the big 12 gauge, but Nabor coming through, helping him out there, getting a kill into Havocs. And Sire Frosty and Brett respectively dropping Prank and Nabor to end the round. So a lot of action coming through there with 30 seconds left, but 20 ID prevails in that one. And they regain their 3-round deficit as they start to make a comeback. Pandemic, still in the lead, 10-7 here on MP Donville.
We got to get first to 13, so plenty of time left for 20 ID to make a comeback. As they're kind of switching up their style here. It looks like Pandemic is kind of hanging back this time.
What a
there
shot.
You go. Nabor and Prank simultaneously take out Blazer and Viper, so Blazer and Viper down for 20 ID. It's 5v3 in favor of Pandemic. And as soon as I speak, Brett does find Prank with a beautiful, beautiful headshot. And Rob Wiz into Brett. There you go, Frosty into Nabor and Havocs into Miller, and then Rob Wiz into Frosty, leaving Havocs the only one standing for 20 ID versus Rob Wiz and Savior. So Havocs versus 2 as he makes his way into back Panzer. All right, he hears the plant going down, puts up a nade. This one might connect. No, he doesn't find him, but he does find him with a really nice headshot right into the bomb area. So it's Havocs versus Rob Wiz, and they're firing at each other. They find each other pretty quickly. All right, Havocs is in decent position here as he knows exactly where Rob Wiz is. So he kind of scoots his way back into, pulls out the shotty and makes his way right up to him. So Havoc's looking for the kill. Wow, this could be very interesting here. So, Rob Wiz, I didn't think Rob Wiz saw him, but I guess Rob Wiz had a clue there as Rob Wiz comes through and just puts him down with the shotty versus shotty. Rob Wiz is a 16 and 13 score. Nice job by Rob Wiz. Wow.
Yeah, Rob Wiz, I definitely thought the exact same thing. Saw Havoc sneak up on him. Rob Wiz was looking out with the MP44, and just at the last second, must have struck him that Havoc was sneaking up on him. Turns around and puts a 12 gauge right there into his midsection. So excellent job there for Rob Wiz, and Pandemic jumps ahead. Another 4-round lead, 11-7 here. As we have a player making their way up the main road, that's going to be Prank. There is a player waiting for him right inside of the White House. That's going to be Havoc, but Havoc is going to retreat. So Prank's still holding out there before he enters. And Havoc is rotating back around into the bomb site, back into the A bomb site. We have 2 Pandemic players right there at Muddy Water. That's going to be Curious G and Rob Wiz. As they're holding out, big gun battle going down. Rob Wiz jumping out, catches the crossfire between Brett and them, and oh my god, like 4 kills happening all at once. We're in a 2-on-3 situation here. 2 allies, 3 Axis, and right there Savior picking up a nice headshot into Havoc as he peeks out, and Curious G knows there's a player right there behind the B bomb site. So a minute left in this round. It's a 2-on-2 situation here. Prank and Curious G playing it pretty perfectly there with the M1 Garen, catches a headshot into Viper, and Blazer right there with the headshot into Prank. So one-on-one battle here as he's rotated back around into the B bomb site. Savior is going to jump off the bomb, spot that last player. It's going to be Blazer rather, as he puts a lot of M1 Garen bullets into him, but he's going to retreat from it. So Blazer here, 30 seconds into the round, is going to force him into a plant on the B bomb site, and there it goes. Savior's going to put it down, so 60 seconds, fresh defuse, fresh plant, and Savior's going to peek out over the top of the bomb site, and Blazer firing viciously. There's going to catch a headshot with an MP44 bullet, and there's a nice clutch there. 1-on-2 for Blazer. He's got a fresh bomb to defuse, and he's going to jump in there. So 20 ID staying alive here, regaining the 3-round deficit, keeping it somewhat close, as Pandemic is still in the lead, 11-8, heading into round 20 here total.
Yeah, and don't forget, we went through halftime very quickly there, but we will get your shout-outs right after. As, you know, we like to hang out and have a little bit of fun after the match. So get your shout-outs to me or Snakeboots, and we will get them on right after the match. All right, so there you go. Pandemic hanging back. Miller throws up a pineapple and finds Frosty right off the bat. So guy down for 20 ID, and it's Frosty. And let's see. It looks like a B push. We got a bunch of guys over at Monument. It's Prank. As soon as I say Prank, he falls to Blazer's 44 style. And Savior and Nabor both getting kills on Blazer and Havoc. So Sire, Frosty, Havoc, and Blazer are down for 20 ID. 4v2 situation. Wow, Pandemic doing it big as they look to take this last round very quickly. Miller and Savior both get kills there at the end. So 12-8. Oh, man. 20 ID's got to turn it on now and get, let me count them out, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rounds to win it. So Pandemic in great position. All they need is one more.
Yeah, four rounds left in this matchup, and 20 ID it needs all four of them to stay alive here. Pandemic in the tie round, heading up 12-8, and right away here, as Pandemic comes out for another B push, as they have all 5 players holding out on that main road. Brett lands a potato smasher right at the feet of Nabor, and a lot of nades being tossed around there into the cafe area. It looks like the Pandemic is going to rotate back around into Graveyard, sending 3 players now into Graveyard as they charge up side by side next to each other as they're making their way. That's going to be Prank, Rob Wiz, and Miller, as Miller is scout member into the orphanage area with this Thompson. He's going to hold out. Minute 20 seconds left in the round. Smoke is going to fill up right there on top of the A bomb site, but 20 ID is pretty heavily set there to defend it. Brett and Miller right on the opposite sides of the wall. Miller's going to rush out, and Brett's going to be right there with the MP44, and Havoc's giving him some backups. Going to drop a headshot right there into Rob Wiz. So Smoke is right there filling up in front of the orphanage, and Prank is all alone, standing all alone. All 5 20 ID members are pushing in on him, and 20 ID having a strong answer here. Down 4 rounds, are going to come out with the team ace and stay alive, 12-9. And they need 3 more rounds just like that one to stay alive here total. Wow.
Yeah, well, I think they might have hurt us, but and then again, they're pros, so they probably know what they got to do. Let's see. Let's see. We got a bunch of guys from Pandemic just hanging out by tank side. Wow, look at this, folks. It's an all-out B rush as all 5 Pandemic make their way to B and down the street. This is going to be fun. Here we go. They're getting closer. They already took over White House, so... Oh, no, excuse me. They're right outside as Havoc is hanging in there with the shotty. Nice shot from Miller and the Blazer, and Havoc returns with a double kill on Miller and Rob Wiz. And then Curious George and Havoc and Viper finds a nade for Nabor. So 3 Pandemic down and 2 20 ID down. It's a 2v3 situation in favor of 20 ID. So 20 ID in decent position here to take it to the... take another round and keep it alive. Let's see. All right, Pandemic Savior's hanging back. I think that B push kind of got halted. Look, Savior finds Sire Frosty right by the truck in the middle of the street. Takes him out with a beautiful, beautiful headshot underneath the truck. So 2v2. It's Savior and Prank versus Brett and Viper. All right, there you go. Savior. I believe that's Curious George. He's right over there with his buddy Viper by B bomb site. So they know a guy's at B bomb site, and they know it's Prank. They're going to go together through the hobo town. Ho, ho, ho. Viper does find Prank. He knew where he was. Takes him out. So 20 ID in great position here. There you go. So 20 ID with another round, 10-12. It is not over, folks. Wow, it got really, really exciting here at the end as 20 ID felt their doomsday looming. Wow, Snake, what'd you feel about that round?
That was an excellent round there from Pandemic. Actually, Havoc's throwing it big right there in the White House with the shotgun, but Pandemic having an answer, coming back around, making it a 2v2, but Viper pretty deadly there behind the B bomb site, pretty stealthy as well, as Pandemic had no idea he was right there behind the B bomb site. Comes out with a nice kill, surprise kill on Prank, and Brett right there to finish it off. So, you know, interesting thing to note here, Brett 4-10 at halftime is now on top of 20 ID's leaderboard at 18-15. So, pretty big second half here from Brett as Prank getting things started right off the bat there, landing a pineapple nade into Havoc's. So 4-on-4 advantage here. I missed a shot there. Viper had dropped Savior seconds into the first round. or into this round rather, with a nice sniper rifle. So 4-on-4, even advantage for both teams. Minute 15 left in the round. Rob Wiz pushing through with the shotgun into the White House. Not going to really see anything. Miller holding out in the graveyard area with the Thompsons. Going to be lead scout into the orphanage area. Prank running down the main roads, kind of peeking out towards the back of the B bomb site, and he spots a player back there, but there's Viper to return crossfire, putting the sniper bullet into the midsection of Prank, and it's now a 4-on-3 advantage here for the Axis team. Rob was spotting a player. That's going to be Blazer right on the other side of the Hobo Town wall, and he jumps through the top of the window to land a nice 12 gauge into him. And Rob Wiz is going to push out through into the B bomb site. Viper's going to be right there behind the wall, and my God, 20 ID coming through in amazing fashion. 3 rounds in a row here, down 12-9. It's now 12-11. Pandemic still in the tie round, so we're heading into the last round of regulation. 20 ID needs this to send it to overtime. Pandemic needs this for the victory and advance into the upper bracket. So, again, we'll see how it unfolds here. Just interestingly enough, man, 20 ID making a comeback.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I would not mind an OT here at all. I'm very exciting match, as things are very, very close here, 12-11. So let's see if 20 ID can make it into OT and change things around from that deficit they were in. All right, there you go again. 5 Pandemic members making their way to B. So I think they're going to go back to that blotched B bomb rush that they missed on before, and I think they're going to try to perfect it here. Let's see. So Miller making his way right into a cafe, looking around for somebody to find, but he finds nobody. As I scan over, and it's Viper held back at B bomb site. Ooh, and then we got a sneaky Blazer. He's waiting also by B bomb site there. Right off the bat, Frosty and the Savior with a Car 98. So Savior, top player for Pandemic at the moment, is down. So it's a 5v4 in favor of 20 ID. Wow, this might go into OT, folks. So do not change that dial. All right, here we go. Moving closer into B bomb site. It's 3 Pandemic players all over there by Hobo Town, and they see the player there behind the bomb. Havix went out, and Rob Wiz found him right across the map with a grand. So Rob Wiz and Savior are down. Viper down for 20 ID as action's heating up, and 2 Pandemic players fall very quickly. We're going to see an OT, folks, as Prank versus 3. I'm not giving up on Prank here, but it's a tough ladder to climb. Havix, Brett, and Sire Frosty versus Prank. Oh, it's very, very close to OT here, folks. Prank's been known to do some crazy stuff, but no, Havix finds him big shotty right next to Arches. Unbelievable Snakes. 4 rounds in a row for 20 ID. OT, baby.
Yeah, 20 ID's really got to be feeling this one. Give you guys a quick score rundown. Savior 19-17, Nabor 17-16, Rob was 17-18, Miller and Prank 15-17, 13-17, and yeah, I couldn't catch the second team there as they restarted it on us. Wow, yeah, I can't really believe this one. 20 ID making a 4-round comeback, down 12-9. And they're now sending this one into our first overtime here in the CEVO-P playoffs. Round 1 action on MP Dawnville. Just exciting action. I can't believe 20 ID's made a comeback on that one. Pandemic seemed completely in control on the Allied side, and they just lost it there at the end. 20 ID defending the B bomb site pretty well.
Excellent, excellent job from 20 ID. I just didn't see it happening, but you know what? CEVO-P, baby, and these guys know what's going on. So excellent, excellent job from 20 ID. Let's see. So 20 ID is going to start on Allies as they. Can you help me here, Snake? What's the? Is it 4 rounds an OT or 3 and 3?
3 round halves, 6 rounds total, and first team to 4 wins the match.
All right, so there you go, folks. We're going to see another at least 4 rounds here of amazingly good action on MP Dawnville from 2 of the top teams in the world. That's Pandemic and 20 ID. Looks like we got a little bit of time here. I think Brett had to go number 2. He told us. So.
Well, now would be a perfect time to get all the shoutouts read off. So I'm going to minimize out real quickly.
I'm gonna hang in. I'm going to hang in the server, Snake, and save my shoutouts for after the match as you go out. I'll keep an eye on things here.
And definitely the OT break. Apparently, players can't 12 go over 24 rounds.
We're only waiting on Sire Frosty and Brett as all the pandemic is readied up. And it's official.
All right, minimized
Brett.
out and absolutely no shout out. So if you guys are there tuning in, join us on IRC #E-Rev on the Game Surge Network and send your shout outs there to Snakeboots or Total, and we'll get them right off at the end of the match as we see it. So again, still waiting on one more player.
Yep, one more player. I believe it's Brett going number 2. Alright, we're just waiting on Brett is back, and Sire Frosty is the only one not ready, so we should be starting here shortly, folks. OT, here we go. All players are readied up. OT, 20 ID versus Pandemic. Big time CEVO-P match tonight. You back in the server there, Snake?
Yeah, I am back in here.
Alright, cool.
Alright, overtime number 1 here. Pandemic on the German side, 20 AD on the Allied side, and we are getting ready for action as it does go live. And Pandemic is going to send 2 players up into the orphanage area. That's going to be Miller and Rob Wiz, but it is just a throw to grenades as Miller lands a potato smasher right there at the feet of Brett, and Bohr landing a nice MP44, or was that a Car 98K? I believe that's an MP44 headshot into Havix. And he picks up a second kill there into Viper rather, and Rob Wiz right there with the Car 98K peeking out of the front of the orphanage. There's gonna catch a nice bolt into the rear end of Sire Frost, and he spots that last player. That's gonna be Razor 420 ID at the wall, and he's gonna run away as he spots that nade coming in at him. And see if I can rotate back around and see what Razor is doing. He has retreated back up into the church area, kind of peeking out into the B bomb site now. Just kind of holding out there. He's got a minute left and 3 Axis players against him, so we'll see if he can pull a clutch out as he spots a player making his way from the hobo town across the main road, and he hears footsteps there behind him. So he's holding out there in the church with the M1 Garen, kind of watching all his angles. His Savior's holding up at the B bomb site with a he has a shotgun and an MP44 combination. Rob Wiz holding out from the orphanage. Miller on top of the A bomb site with an MP44 as Razor's making his way through the muddy water. Has 40 seconds left in the round. A 1v3 situation for him. He's peeking out on top of the B bomb site. There it is. He's going to spot Miller. Puts a headshot into him, but Rob Wiz coming around with a nice rifle headshot to drop Razor and pick up the round there for Pandemic. And the key for that round was definitely Nabor and Miller picking up 3 kills in the first 30 seconds for Pandemic, and leaving it down to a 1-on-3 situation. So Pandemic jumping out to an early 1-0 lead on the German side here on MP Dawnville. CEVO-P playoffs overtime.
It's a 3-2 split, 3 graveyard and 2 street side for 20 ID. They didn't fare too well in that last round, but as we saw just a few minutes ago, 20 ID can turn it around at any second. So there you go. Havix making his way into right outside of church there. He's going to throw a set, and we'll see if that set connects, as it is airborne and nothing. So no kills yet. It disappeared for a second. You're right. All right, so Havix inside of Orf with the big shotty, and he's going to go uncontested for a second, but 2 Pandemic right outside of Orf. I'm not sure they know that second guy's there. Prank and Rob Wiz both picking up kills. Rob Wiz double kill, and the Bohr with the 4th kill of the round. So, wow, man, not good. 4, 5, count it. Last one was Viper for 20 ID, and he does fall. So, Pandemic 2-0 here in OT. Remember, they only got to get 4 to advance. So, oh no, 20 ID better do that same thing they did last time and turn on the heat right now.
Yeah, definitely gotta want to at least pick up one on the Allied side. Going down 3-0 on the German side. It's completely, you can pull it off, but it's going to be hard as we have two Pandemic players rushing up into the church. That's going to be Miller and Prank, excuse me. As we got a lot of gunfire going on there. As Miller taking a lot of heat, is going to retreat back there next to his buddy Prank, and they're both going to hold out there inside of the church still. As we have 20 ID players. If you're hearing the footsteps out right around them, Viper picking off Prank there with a nice Springfield shot, but Savior lands a potato smasher right in at the feet of Havoc's. Razor pushing up in through the graveyard. Is going to spot Miller inside of that church and drop him with the M1 Garen. So it's a 4-on-3 advantage here, 420 ID, so everything working in their favor this round so far. A minute 15 on the clock as Savior hears some footsteps over at the cafe area. And 320 ID players in the graveyard right now. Razor scout members. He's heading up on top of that ledge to jump through the window. Minute left in the round here. Looks like they're going to rotate back around, waiting for a smoke grenade perhaps. As Brett's now going to rotate and become the lead member, jumping in through the orphanage. No one's going to be there for Pandemic. As Robwiz is holding out.
Oh, jeez.
There he goes.
Not good.
Folks,
By
it's
chance...
time to...
yeah.
I guess it doesn't give us... Oh, it is still live?
Folks, we're going to do this radio style. Hang out for the last few rounds here with us as we'll get it to you. No video, but we... Yes.
I think so. Alright folks, so we apologize for that. Chad running a little internet issues here, so he'll get back on the server pretty quickly. But as we said, Pandemic up 3-0 over 20 ID here in overtime. They only need one more round. They're switching to the American side, and smoke is filling up right outside of the muddy water. As Pandemic is, they have a player heading up into the graveyard area. That's going to be Miller. He's going to get set there. Has a Thompson. Two 20 ID players on top of the A bomb site, and Viper dropping Savior there across the main road. But Prank right there with a nice headshot into Viper. So it's a 4-on-4 even advantage here for these for this team. Minute 13 left in the round. Smoke is filling up in the orphanage area. And as I stated, two 20 ID players. That's going to be Brett and Havoc's holding out on top of the B bomb site. Nabor landing a pineapple nade right on top of Sire Frosty. So it's a 4-on-3 advantage for the Pandemic team, as we have a Pandemic player making his way up through the bottom of the Panzer house. See if I can spot who that was. That's going to be Nabor as he's making his way back out, aiming in towards Red Brick. Has an M1 Garen in hand. Now he's going to spot out as there's a player making his way through. That's going to be Havoc's as they exchange fire towards each other. And Nabor puts a couple bullets into him, but not going to spot him. as there's a player right there to help him out. That's Rob Wiz with the shotgun, going to hold out with Havocs. Havocs on the other side of the wall, and right there he's going to come through with the shotgun. The board dropping Brett with the M1 Garen, and right there in the board doing a little baiting for his teammate. Rob is going to push through, so one player left. That's going to be Razor as Pandemic gets on top of the A bomb site, drops the rock here. So one player left. It's going to be Razor, and he's right there at the Panzer box area, aiming out towards the A bomb site, seeing if he can spot a player on top of the bomb. And time is beginning to become a factor against him. He spots a player right there at the short wall. Is going to put some bullets at him, and right there Rob Wiz coming around on the flank secures the victory here for Pandemic as Rob Wiz goes 8-0 in overtime for Pandemic as they pick up a clean sweep, 4-0 in overtime, and Pandemic moving on in the upper bracket finals here, or excuse me, into the upper bracket semifinals in the CEVO Professional Season 4 finals.
Hey, before we go here, I do got a few shout-outs. I'm going to get them out. We got one from Sixer. Shout out to Phoenix. Woo, woo, woot. So that's from Sixer to Phoenix. And Zilasis. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. But shout out to Zero Cool Gaming, CEVO-A Champs, and Kyra Richards. Thanks. And also, one last one here. He says, what happened? Oh my God, that was from Apex. Well, Apex, we had a little bit of a problem there, but I think you might have caught that last second as Pandemic does advance to the upper brackets.
All right, I got a couple here before we close it out. Coming in from Devour COD2 Wee Man, he says, woot, shout out me. So he's giving a shout out to himself. I haven't seen one of those since my grandfather was born. And another one coming in from Vex Cube. He says, Snake, I love you. This match is amazing. I love you and e-rev. I love Big Daddy Shanks and Chad and Shock and all of e-rev except Bruiser. So, a lot of love going around, a little bit of hate. One coming in from Sang. He says, shout out to you guys for the awesome cast. Good job. And again, Sang doing all the right things for the COD2 community. So give a shout out right back to Sang over there with Game Riot. So appreciate the support there, Sang. And a couple more here coming in. HD says, give me a shout out. I'm clanless. Hook me up. So there you go, buddy. One coming in from Arsenic. 20 ID for the comeback and the win. Snake have my babies. So, man, I'm not really down for any man-loving going on. Got a girlfriend. You might want to fight her for it. You know, she's the one that has control of the snake, if you know what I'm saying. And we got two more coming in from D Square. Shout out to Steamo. I think it's Curious G instead of Crazy G. I'm pretty sure we did say Curious George the entire match. Apologize if any of us said anything otherwise. And lastly, one from Pope. Shout out to Sourcey for being hottest VCOD player alive. And I gotta say, man, stop saying VCOD. It's COD. There was no vanilla COD. It was just COD. That's it, man. But that's my rebuttal to you. And one last one coming out here from Carbon, Apex COD2 Carbon. He says, shout out to Pope from Carbon. It's Curious G, you idiot, not Crazy G. So that might have been the confusion there. Players chatting it up in our IRC channel. Pretty sure all of us know it's Curious George Savior. So again, that's all the shout outs we have. We're going to close down the lines. And before we go, we got another CEVO-P first round matchup coming up tomorrow night. It's going to be Enervate taking on Game Slaves at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Electronic Revolution TV. So tune in for the CEVO-P broadcast tomorrow night, and join us on our forums, http www.e-rev.tv/forums. Please sign up, give us all the support you can, and join us on IRC, idle and support us. Pound e-rev on the Game Surge Network in IRC, and also help CEVO out. Pound CEVO, idle, and support them as well. And that's all I've got for tonight. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow night for CEVO-P Professional Playoffs. This is Snakeboots signing out, and you stay classy, COD2.
Alright, it's your boy Total, and before I go, I want to give one shout out myself, and that's a shout out to my buddy Ranger. I think Ranger, you're listening, shout out to you, buddy. Alright, it's Total, signing off for e-rev TV.